second speaker of our friendship forum today, Alena. Our second speaker is Itamar Ben David. He's from Israeli Virtual Tourism Association, Israel. Well, are you ready? And the floor is yours, Itamar Ben David.
Thank you very much. So, Gleb, thank you, and thank you for inviting me. And I think that unlike Gleb, that is coming from a lot of more of the technical knowledge of it, I'm coming from the low-tech end of it. I'm just a tour guide. I'm not. I would even declare myself as a technophobe. And since 2019, I start playing with all the ideas of virtual tourism. And once the pandemic started, I started to just invest all my time in this, and slowly overcame a lot of these technical obstacles. So our association is not exactly an association, it's more of a think tank. I would say that this is the best way to describe it. It's more of a think tank, and this think tank started with a few dozens of, probably 60 now, 60 Israeli tour guides trying to overcome the challenges of being locked at home, and we're really interested in showing our country and share the stories we have and the beauty of Israel. So it started with the lockdown, so not even live on location kind of tourism that we all saw during the pandemic, guides with gimbal showing their destinations. It's actually started with all kinds of presentations, and the ultimate, let's say, the final result of it is a presentation on Google Earth project with pictures and videos and all that. I'll show you in a moment if you're not familiar with it. And the purpose of it was simply to show Israel during the pandemic. But this think tank developed into a much broader scale group. I think at the moment we're a little over 200 people. Some of them are guides, some of them are travel agents, some of them are actually people from the Ministry of Tourism, and some of them are entrepreneurs and actual tech people. And together, we're very oriented to Israel, yeah, but a lot of our conclusions and our solutions are could be helpful for other countries, clearly. So when this think tank that started last January of 2022, we came up with a document. Sadly, it's in Hebrew. We didn't translate it yet, but don't worry. Like all the important conclusions, we'll just send it out there, and I'll share it with you happily. But the general idea of this broader think tank is to promote virtual tourism as a part of legacy tourism. Okay, legacy tourism as like the tourism we all know until the pandemic, and we do think that virtual tourism and legacy tourism combined is, something that could help promote many different destinations in many different countries and in many new different ways, both for people that are able to travel and those who are not able to travel because of financial difficulties or health issues or time issues or whatever. And the idea is to just bring the world closer together. So I live in Jerusalem. I'm a tour guide here in Israel, clearly, and I just want to take you to a short tour to Israel. And as I just walk you through this, I'll be happy to not just guide you through Israel. This is not really the purpose of it. The point is to just explain, the advantages of virtual tourism for, travel agencies around the world and other stakeholders like hotels, people that have tourist attractions, etc. Okay, so this is Google Earth. Everyone knows that. This is not a rocket science, not at all. So let's say I want to promote the destination of Israel for actual people to come, okay, not just for the sake of virtual tourism. So this, in all different ways, we can actually develop content for social media and make just our destination more familiar with people, make people more familiar with our country, more familiar with our destinations, and even more familiar with us personally. Okay, so during the pandemic, I probably guided 30, maybe more, 1,000 people, and now they know me in person. They saw an entire tour with me of 45 minutes or an hour, or maybe even more, and now they know Itamar in Israel. Okay, so this is for me, it's beneficial simply for that one reason. Okay, so without getting to the geography of Israel, we have the desert in the south, we have more greener area in the north, the Jordan River is on the east. You can see the Sea of Galilee up here and the Dead Sea over here in the Mediterranean. Let's just land in Israel. So one of the things in virtual tourism is that we're actually able to take our future travelers step by step throughout the entire thing. So if there are people that are worried, Israel, as you know, it's a hotspot and we have all these terror attacks and people could be concerned, it's fine. We deal with that, and this could really ease their mind, in terms of understanding the geography, in terms of understanding, the situation. So the pre-arrival meetings is always crucial, or the pre-arrival call is always crucial with people that are coming to Israel. But if you can really walk them through the entire thing, this could really give them some peace of mind. So as we do that, I would also give, all kinds of little inputs of Israeli culture. So here's the Ben Gurion airport, Ben Gurion, our first prime minister. This is not the important part, okay? Here's an airplane approaching Israel. I hope you can see that fine. I'm not sure how the bandwidth is going with what's called with WebEx, but let me know if it's too choppy. I'll just stop with the videos. Okay, so here's a plane coming up and coming to Israel. And if you'll be, let's say you're a foreign traveler, you've never been to Israel before, and now you find yourself in an El Al airplane, and all the Israelis around you start singing. Okay, so this is something that is nice to just be familiar with, that Israelis, when they arrive to Israel, they start singing, Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Hevenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem. We brought peace upon you. So everyone's clapping their hands once the pilot touches the ground, and Israelis are very enthusiastic about it, about arriving back after a vacation back to our homeland. So thanks to Google Earth, we are able to travel all over the world. You're probably familiar with that. I'll mention the inputs of it, a few ideas around it a little later. So here is Tel Aviv and Highway 1, and clearly we want to travel to Jerusalem. Here's the airport on our left side. And now you can see the Highway 1. We're approaching the mountains of Judea. Okay, this is the Judean hills over here, all this greenery. And we can approach Jerusalem itself. Here we go. You can see it's not too far from the Dead Sea, actually. And let's take a look. So Gleb was talking about it earlier. I'll get to these models in just a moment. So let's say from the airport you took a taxi or whatever shuttle you have, or rented a car, clearly to the most expensive hotel in Israel, probably King David Hotel, where all the who's and who's are staying, all the presidents. And with Google Earth, I can actually get pictures from the royal suite or whatever suite they're gonna stay in, and just as I'm selling it, here's just the lobby, and no copyright problems with that. This is a picture that I took for the entire presentation. So clearly we need to be careful around that. But this is the lobby of King David Hotel. And here's there's the Hall of Fame, in King David Hotel of who stayed. So Donald Trump stayed there, and Joe Biden. So this is a joke that in the Bible it says in the book of Isaiah that the wolf will live with the lamb, and there will be peace. So they are very peaceful over there in the King David Hotel. Their signatures, at least, are very peaceful side by side. So after they left their stuff in the rooms, we're continuing in this dynamic itinerary, following one day after the other, and we just walk them through the entire adventure in Israel, not just in Jerusalem, okay? But this is just, again, to get the taste of it. So from here, I'm jumping again, not like Lisbon, but still with the help of Google Earth, flying over Jerusalem. And just to connect with what Gleb was talking about, this technology exist in Israel clearly too, creating models from lots of pictures that were taken by drones. So this is not me doing this. This is an Israeli company called Simplex. They created these models in different cities in Israel, not for the purpose of tourism, but for the purpose of urban planning and architecture, and architects and all that. So what you see here is the old city from Jaffa Gate. Jaffa Gate is this area over here. You can see the Dome of the Rock and the Mount of Olives. So just so we can play a little bit with it here from another angle. This is from the Mount of Olives, and This is from the city of David. Again, the details are not important. What's important is that the ability to fly over Jerusalem with all these models, I can totally connect to that. I'm not the person that actually do that, but we have the right people to do all of these, to use all of these technologies and implement it. Okay, so let's land now in the city of David. This is called ancient Jerusalem. So for many people, ancient Jerusalem, 4,000 years old Jerusalem, is a challenge in terms of, the just physical challenge. So many elderly people are not really able to walk through the city of David. Maybe they'll go just to the viewpoint, and that's it. They'll have to rest for the rest of it, for the rest of the site, as their group is traveling by. But there is no reason for them really to miss all of the amazing archaeology that we have over there and the beautiful views. So you can see the Temple Mount and Al-Aqsa Mosque. If we have Muslims on the call, then this is one of the most important at least for Sunnis, most important mosques in the world after Mecca and Medina. We have the Mount of Olives right over here, ancient Jerusalem, and that's how it looks like. Okay, just a quick look at the city of David. From there, I can go and talk about the archaeology, okay, using these simply photospheres kindly given to us by Google Earth, and then we go down, okay, down in the different tunnels. There are a few different tunnels. Again, my emphasis now is not on the content. My emphasis now is how to help those who are not really able to travel around and to give them the opportunity of visiting the city of David despite of all the stairs around. Okay, so we have this area over here. This is just 3,700 years old tunnel. What you see over here in ancient Jerusalem, there's much to say about it. This is the city that was conquered by King David. After that, I want to take you to a famous place, very important for Christians all around the world, the Siloam Pool, where Jesus healed the blind man in the Siloam Pool. This is just 10% of the actual size of the pool. We don't have the original pool, we don't have the full size of the pool. And from there, we can just continue on the Pilgrim's Road from the Siloam Pool. This is just a picture, of course, okay? I'm just jumping as fast as humanly possible, okay? But clearly, I can send you recordings of all of these tours in great details, okay? So all these pavement stones, by the way, these pavement stones, this is all original. This is from the time of Jesus. This is 2,000 years old. This is the original Pilgrim's Road from the Siloam Pool up to the Temple Mount, and our plan is to go up there. So again, this is 800 meters stairway going up to the Temple Mount. So not everyone are able to do that. Let's say they can afford coming to Israel. Not everyone are physically able to climb up all these stairs. Okay, so this is how it looks like today, and they're opening the bigger Pilgrim's Road very, very soon. So it's very impressive. I've seen all the pictures and videos from there. Super duper impressive. Okay, all that video is taking us to the Western Wall, basically. So jumping now to the Western Wall. Here we are, the Western Wall. So I'm talking about 50 million Jews around the world, but there's also more than 2 billion Christians and 1.7 or so billion Muslims around the world. Not all of them are able to come to Israel. So in the peak of tourism back in 2019, we had, what is that, like 4.6 million tourists coming to Israel. So clearly, these are not massive numbers. Okay, just New York City alone, I think, is like 50 or 60 million people a year. But the idea is that we can make Israel accessible for everyone, okay, including those countries that are not in diplomatic relationship with Israel, but do cherish all these heritage sites and religious sites in the country. So there's no reason to exclude them simply because they can't arrive, okay? So over here, for example, there's the entrance to the Western Wall, and this little booth over here, this is for the entrance to the Temple Mount. You can see there's a bridge going up to the Temple Mount, just the holiest place on earth, really. So we can actually climb using these videos or photospheres or pictures, okay? Or later in the metaverse, we'll have these immersive ways of bringing the people to Jerusalem and to any other destination, clearly. So this is the entrance to the Temple Mount. There's this bridge for non-Muslims. This particular gate is for non-Muslims. We have this tradition of entering the city with the right foot. Okay, entering not just the city, entering the Temple Mount, entering the city, entering holy sites with the right foot, and voila. And we just entered the holiest place on earth, the Temple Mount. Okay, so from here, let's just jump a little bit. We can see the Dome of the Rock. For the sake of the Muslims on the call, just a quick look at Al-Aqsa Mosque. This is the entrance of Al-Aqsa Mosque. Okay. Okay, so now let's focus on the temple itself. So from the perspective of Jews and Christians and other non-Muslims that are coming to the Temple Mount, since the year 2000 approximately, we're not able to visit the actual mosques, the actual buildings. Okay, in the past, the Muslim guards used to sell tickets for it. They stopped doing it 20 years ago, and we're not able to visit it, to visit the actual buildings. Okay, that's number one. Number two, as far as Jews concerned, we have all kinds of purity issues of visiting specific parts of the Temple Mount, and for some Jews, they even completely avoiding entering the Temple Mount. So even for Israelis, even for Jews around the world, we restrict ourselves from climbing the holiest place for us. Okay, so virtual tourism is totally needed in that respect. So this is just a simple model of the temple and how it looked like in the days of Jesus. There's the altar, there's the temple itself. Okay, again, the details are not important. What's important is that we are actually able to visit, thanks to different Muslims that took videos and pictures for us, we're actually able to visit it. So I'll stop sharing for just 1 second. I want to just put this on, put this link on the chat, so you'll be able to enjoy it in the best resolution. Where is it? Here we go. Just I invite you to just enjoy the Bookify. Oh no, what happened? Okay, this is strange. Let me just do it again. I invite you to simply press the link. I'm going to put that in the chat. Let's give it another try. Oh, okay, now it's working. Okay, good. So you have this link on the chat. Thanks to Bookify and a Muslim friend of theirs, we're able to see the Dome of the Rock from inside. So this is great for Jews that avoiding entering even if they were allowed to, because of purity reasons, we're not allowed to go inside. And for Muslims around the world that aren't able, because of, let's say, diplomatic problems and lack of diplomatic relationship between their country and Israel, they can visit the Dome of the Rock, okay, Kubet al-Sakhra. So I highly recommend you to check this video now as I'm talking. I'm going to show it in the main screen, but if you want to really enjoy this, I think you should just click the link. Now, this is a 360 video. Okay, it's a 360 video. I just want to show the quality could be really, really high. It's like taken 4K. If I'll do 4K, it's going to be extremely choppy. So I'm just going to leave it like in a lower resolution. But this is 4K, and you can actually move around. Okay, move around the video and see the Dome of the Rock and the foundation stone. All the important traditions that are connected to this place, such as the creation of Adam and Eve, binding of Isaac, etc., all these biblical traditions, and of course the Islamic tradition of Al-Isra wa Al-Mi'raj, okay, the ascension of Prophet Muhammad to heaven to get the commandment of prayer. So all of that is now accessible, okay? So places that are very, very close, okay, yet again, we're not able to get there, now is totally accessible. Okay, so lastly, just before we, oh, you know what? There's one thing over here I think I missed, the Western Wall. Okay, so here's the Western Wall. I want to talk about not just the geography, but also the time. Okay, so specifically now, this is the time of the year of the Jewish high holidays, and it's not like everyone that are coming to Israel are enjoying the high holidays and its special spirit and you know, its special atmosphere. It's just like, you know, visiting Christmas in New York on Christmas, or visiting whatever, Bethlehem on Christmas. This is a better example, actually. So not everyone enjoys the holiday spirit, okay? But virtually, we're actually able to create all these experiences online that can really immerse the people in the atmosphere. Okay, so what you see on the right side, let me just, I see there's stuff going on in the chat, or I think at least there's stuff on the chat, but I'll get to it later. Okay, so for example, just Bar Mitzvah days. Okay, Bar Mitzvah days are pretty frequent every Monday and Thursday. It's a great atmosphere. You'll see all these Jewish families coming with their Bar Mitzvah boys, 13 years old boys, reading the Torah and all of that. Okay, here, reading the Torah and all of that. The prayer is like taking place 24/7 at the temple, at the Western Wall, and leaving notes at the Western Wall is very popular. Even people from abroad are sending their prayers to the chief rabbi of the Western Wall, and they actually put it in the wall and everything. But what about high holidays, okay, such as Passover or the Feast of Tabernacles and all the rest of it? These are extremely important times of the year with ecstatic energy to it. So thanks to these technologies that Gleb mentioned and what I'm trying to present, the idea is to give these people that are not able to come to the country an immersive experience of all of that. So this is the priestly blessing of the Western Wall. This is an extremely ecstatic moment. I must say, it's only 3 minutes. Twice a year, it happens for 3 minutes. So this is really something else. Okay, different high holidays. Okay, 9th of Av, which is the commemorating holiday of the destruction of the temple. So also very ecstatic. Thousands of people, sometimes tens of thousands of people are visiting. There's no other way to deliver this experience other than on the virtual space. Okay, Independence Day of Israel and soldiers swearing in. Most tourists will never see that. Okay, even if they're coming to Israel, they will never see that. So this is our way of, our opportunity to give this experience on the online world, or at least the digital world, virtual world. Okay, so here's the view from the Mount of Olives. I can't say how exciting this view is, and for people who are coming to Israel and people who live in Israel, even though I've been guiding for 16 years, every time I see this view, it's something else. So just a quick overview of that. So let's just wrap this part. I was trying to convey the reasons why we should use virtual tourism in terms of overcome time and space and give the atmosphere of different holidays, or enable people that are not able, of course, to come to the country. All of that is, I think we made this point pretty clear during the pandemic, that this is extremely crucial. But I want to talk in the next few minutes about other things that we can use virtual tourism for. Unless there are questions, I'll stop for a few minutes and then I'll continue. No, I see that. Okay, I thought there was something on the chat, but I was wrong. Yeah, go ahead.
Нигора, переведете мой вопрос?
Да, конечно. Ну, тут вопрос на английском. Do you have any information on that?
Да.
On what?
От Виолы, да? What is the demand for this kind of tours or experience?
Okay, so in terms of demand, during the pandemic, we've seen these ups and downs. Okay, so every time there was a world lockdown, or every winter, there was more demand, clearly, and then people were loose and they were allowed to go about their business. So there was a decline in demand, generally speaking. Okay, generally speaking, this is not true for every guide or every virtual tourism company, etc. Some people managed to keep their line pretty steady up, or almost steady, constantly going up. I would say that now, and this is also the title of our of the panel, in terms of education, we see more groups of people that are not able, basically, to come to the country or to any other destination. Yeah, it could be senior homes, could be children, could be students. They want to get some nice understanding of a particular area with particular topic or theme, and they still this is still on demand. So every month they have a few of these tours, whether it's schools or universities or senior citizens, or during the pandemic I also had the experience to guide blind people and deaf people. Okay, so even for them this is great. It could also work for people that are being hospitalized. I didn't do this too often, but some of my friends in this think tank of ours, they gave these tours, so this could actually work. Okay, so it's a matter of marketing, basically. I would say that generally speaking, people are interested in traveling. Okay, but I'm just trying to merge together, and this is the emphasis of our think tank, to merge together the legacy tourism that we all love and cherish, okay, with virtual tourism and virtual tools that enable them to experience the country from afar, experience our destination from afar, like I said earlier. Okay, I see something that is going on in the chat. Thank you, Viola. And Alona, is Israel the most advanced country in the field of virtual tourism? I don't know, like I don't have power meters to actually measure that, but I can say that in terms of our think tanks, to be more accurate, the think tanks here are pretty massive. So we're talking about many, many people that are involved in thinking about it and you know, playing with it and sharing their knowledge and experience with one another. So basically we play with our cards open for the most part. Okay, that's how we did it during the pandemic. And I don't know if Israel is the most advanced in the field. I don't really know, but what I do know is that the level of collaboration is very high. So people are familiar with each other. People know who are the players and what they do, and they're willing to share data even, okay? So this is how we manage to promote it. What example of other countries do you know that you should pay attention to? Okay, so if you're familiar with Hago, then we have a group of guides on Hago. I think like, at least on my WhatsApp group, there are 70 of them. We have a Slack group with, I believe, more than 150 tour guides. And also sharing information, sharing experience, sharing knowledge of how to do things. So I would say that these Hago guides are coming from dozens of different countries. So I don't know if there's a specific country you should focus on. I just know that in every country there are at least one person that I can point out, oh, he's doing this in this country or that country, and maybe he is more familiar with the ecosystem in his specific country or his or her specific destination. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly if there is like, yeah, I guess that if you ask me specifically about a country, I can just connect you to that local guide, and they will let you know what's going on in their ecosystem. I have been to, what is that? Your country, Namaste. Ah, that's cool. Welcome from the Philippines. Does the organization do all this and so on? Okay, so it's not an organization really, it's a think tank. So these are colleagues basically that until the pandemic started, we knew each other from simply guiding. And the think tank is it's a think tank. So people share more or share less, or give more advice to others. So I wouldn't say that there is something in terms of commercial activity or business-wise, we're not in touch with each other. Okay, so we're not connected to each other. There is between the guides, there is some legal agreement about all kinds of other things that are associated with copyrights. But in the terms of the think tank, and that's really how we operate, we don't have necessarily business relationship inside. Okay, so that's I hope it answers your question. I didn't really finish, so stay tuned. I'm taking it back. Gleb, thank you for the extra 10 minutes. So okay. The thing that I want to point out now is more about what can we do that is not exactly, I'll divide it into two things, okay? Number one is the use of virtual tourism for clients that are planning to come to our destination, okay? So I talked about the pre-arrival sessions that creates confidence in, in you as a guide or you as a travel agent. I mentioned the dynamic itinerary. You know what, I'll leave this video. I created this very simple video of how to work with Google Earth project. And, if you want to create whatever project you have in mind, you're just able to watch this and use it. Okay, it's on my YouTube channel and the link is now here. Just if you're not familiar with Google Earth, then this is the way to work with it. So pre-arrival sessions, dynamic itinerary, like what I just, the link that I just pointed out. And also in the case of Israel, there's so much to see in this country. So 2 weeks will not be sufficient. 3 weeks will not be sufficient. There's always something else, another thing to see. So for, let's say, a lot of, historically, the Holy Land, okay, a lot of our tours are actually for religious groups, okay, whether it's Christian or Jewish or Muslim, okay, they're coming to see these major sites. but they'll never cover everything that is important. So the idea is that virtual tourism enables us to have these sessions before or after or during the tour, during the actual physical tour, to, you know, add another site, but virtually, not really going to that site. So if there is, for example, if it's winter time, okay, the hours are limited, or many things are closing around 4 p.m. You just have the ability to go back to the hotel, relax a little bit, meet the guide for a short session of 30 minutes or 45 minutes, and experience another site in Israel. This is one little example, okay? Also, before the actual physical tour, you can have these pre-arrival sessions on a monthly basis, preparing them to visit the country. And after the tour, they can also meet each other, you know, once, twice, 3 times a year, and, you know, add a little more to the experience. Okay. So that's about the tours, the visitors that are actually coming to Israel. I want to explain something about the virtual tourism combined with an in-person group. Okay, so I'm giving you the Israeli take on it. Okay, but clearly you can adjust it to your destination. So in Israel, for example, we have this thing called Birthright Groups. Okay, Birthright are Jews from other countries that are visiting Israel for a week or 2 weeks. Okay, and they explore the country. They, you know, rediscover their Jewish roots and, you know, how it's connected to Israel, etc., etc. Okay, so now that we have that, what about their parents? Okay, they leave behind, you know, their families and friends that they won't experience the Birthright tour clearly, but maybe they can join for 1 or 2 moments in their tour. For example, they can join them on Masada, which is a major highlight, or they can join them in Jerusalem. And with the group and their guide, okay, there's another guy joining them with a gimbal and a phone. He's giving the families back home a live stream experience from the Western Wall or from Masada with the people, you know, with their children basically in the screen. Okay, and they can actually interview them and have this interaction. So this is another little idea of how you can combine virtual tourism with legacy tourism. I'll give you another example. A church group. Okay, they're by the Sea of Galilee or they're in Caesarea, and the church group is like 40 people or so. Okay, but they have families, they have friends back home, people from their congregation that have no, you know, they are not in Israel for whatever reason. Okay, they're old age or have financial difficulties, no problem. In highlights of the tour, the group will be joined by a virtual guide that will give their family or the congregation back home the experience of that site, and they actually see their family members or group of congregation members in the screen. Another thing that we have, and we normally don't think about tourism like that, we think about it as packages in a certain destination or a certain country, or maybe a group of countries, a cluster of countries. 2 years ago, we had the Abraham Accord signed up with the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain and Morocco, Sudan. Okay, so my family is originally from Morocco, Jewish family from Morocco, and I've never been to Morocco, but some of my family members were. Okay, the idea is that I can virtually travel to Morocco or give this particular virtual experience in Morocco to my family members. Or, for example, I can create a Google project or even a little production with local guides, let's say in Spain or in Morocco, of course, and in Jerusalem, and how the family story goes about. Okay, so these are usually Sephardic families from Spain that were expelled after the Reconquista, ended up in Morocco and then immigrated to Israel. Okay, so I can actually play with that with a little production and create a magnet event. Let's say I'm a travel agent for outbound tourism and I want to have more Israelis going out to that destination, or let's say I'm a Moroccan agent that want to draw more Israeli travelers. No problem. Let's give them the Sephardic experience and, you know, have a guide in Cordoba, have a guide in Granada, have a guide in Malaga, and of course in Fez or Meknes or Rabat or whatever in Morocco. And then I give them the full experience of, you know, what's going to be there. Okay, it's going to be like an hour session or an hour and a half session, and they're going to see all the highlights of their tour. So that's just another example. I want to go back to the Abraham's Accord, specifically with the UAE, and we have warming relationship with Saudi Arabia, for example. And let's say the Incense Road. Okay, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is the road, the commercial road from the Arabian Peninsula all the way to Gaza to the Gaza port. And you know, until recently, we were not even thinking in these terms of, having Israel combined with, Egypt and Jordan, fine, we have peace agreement. But what about the Incense Road, giving the full experience of the Incense Road online, okay? So this is something now we can dream about. So that's just another thought. And for Christians, think about travel experience, following Paul's epistles and different communities that he established in the first century CE. These are kind of things that we should just think about, how virtual tourism basically break geography completely. Adding to that, something that Gleb mentioned, I really am very happy that he was first, because you've seen what he was talking about. All these three-dimensional models. So this brings us to all the AR, augmented reality, and VR, virtual reality, and XR, generally speaking, the extended reality. And just think about people that are interested in looking at, again, I'm taking my example, Jerusalem. They want to see Jerusalem. And now they're able to see Jerusalem thanks to all this technology, not just from, a person, like from the street view, okay? They can fly and hover over the city, just like Gleb showed us about Lisbon. So they can fly over the city, and just imagine they are flying over just the city of Jerusalem, and they do like this slide movement, and they jump now to a different time, meaning they jump now to 1,000 years ago to the Crusaders, or 2,000 years ago to the days of the Romans in Jerusalem, or even earlier. Okay, and they can actually have a quest, kind of a quest design, or an escape room design of a virtual tourism experience, and they can explore the country, explore the city in different time, in different eras, sorry, historic eras. So that's another thing that I think that in the future virtual tourism will go to. So at the moment, metaverse is not fully developed. Clearly, it will take a few years, of course. We simply don't have the hardware, and we don't have the. I don't think it's fully conceptualized. So if you go on metaverse now, it looks like a bad video game from the late 90s or so. But in the future, we'll have immersive experiences of these different sites and these different historical times. Okay, so you can walk in the footsteps of Jesus, like quite literally. You'll see the market, designed in the right way. We have archaeologists that are actually helping building all these environments on metaverse and on the virtual space. Or you can walk, as I said, Crusaders Jerusalem or Muslim Jerusalem in different time periods, and really experience and see the city in all these different times. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Itamar Ben David. It was really informative and interesting, I think, and all of us can feel ourselves in this country and these ancient places. And I think that it is the places among must-go places. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and Shana Tova from Jerusalem. Happy New Year from Jerusalem.